Hey guys, Isaac up here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I do my little avatar things. So this is all sped up here as you can see, but you get the idea. The first thing you need is some software and a drawing tablet. I'm using a Chinese knockoff tablet, which I recommend you get a better one, but that works. And it allows you to write out things and draw things. You also need something to draw in like Photoshop or Manga Studio 5, as well as a photo of the user's skin. I am drawing Awesome90 in this video, so I have his skin in front of me that I'm just sort of looking at. The first thing you're going to do is make a new layer and on top of your background. And this is your sketch layer. So you're literally just roughly sketching out like the pose, the small little things, nothing really too complex. And it's okay if it looks really rough. Mine looked incredibly rough, but it'll look better as time goes on. You're also just going to want to, if your line doesn't look good, undo it or erase it. Like, it's nothing stopping you from just undoing it until you get that perfect line, or erasing it, or doing whatever. So it's okay to make mistakes. So I wanted them to be holding something. I decided on it later, and I ended up making a lot of changes in the length of arms. As you can see, this is sort of looking weird, but I decided to edit it quite a bit, and I'm pretty happy with the final result. And so here I'm just sort of editing some things. I didn't like that arm shape, so I'm just removing that entire area. Now, I want to say that this whole thing is sort of a tutorial in a way. I couldn't have done this in real time, like with live audio, because the whole thing added up to about like 90 minutes of just raw footage, which nobody wants to watch, and just me being annoying. So I'm not going to do that for you, so this is why I'm doing it afterwards. But it's sort of in tutorial format. So here I'm sort of just sketching out the body. I decided to make him leaning back, not leaning back, kneeling, as you'll see later on. But this is just like because I didn't have a lot of room on my canvas. I probably should have made my canvas a little bit larger, but I didn't have a lot of room. I pictured them riding like a chicken or something, which I honestly think would look really awesome, but I just did not do that because I didn't have the patience and the time to be doing that. I was kind of unprepared, as you can see. Here I am deciding on the pose and the other arm position. Again, it's all sort of like a sketch at this point, so it doesn't really matter how detailed it is. So I'm just pulling up the photo just because, you sort of want to see the shape of the eyes, the other stuff, all the good things there. So I'm just doing the eyes here, and the mouth, because it's sort of supposed to be like angry-ish, fighting, like, I don't know that face, sort of like sort of weird dedication look. So that's the hair. The hair didn't look very good in the end. It looked very weird and unsized, right? But it looks not awful in this part of the drawing. So here you turn the opacity down to like 50%, just so it's lighter. Then you make a new layer of lines. And these are lines you're going to want to keep. So it's okay if they're, not perfect. Just undo it, try again. It's okay if they come through the other side. You can just erase them. It's really no big deal. So there's the clip that just jumped there. You're probably missing a little bit of footage, but that's okay. I literally just spent that time trying to, completely outline the sketch, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And there is the hair being done. And you can see the hair is not looking too awesome. It's funny because I'm doing Awesome Dude. I'm not doing Awesome Dude, I'm doing Awesome90. I hope I didn't say Awesome Dude. I hope I didn't say that. But I'm doing Awesome90, in case you couldn't tell. And so there is me just erasing and fixing some of those lines. I decided that I didn't like how the other leg was looking, so I erased that, as you can see. And I should probably just explain, I'm a little sick here, so that's why my voice is kind of strange. But here we go. I'm just sort of, just fine-tuning, getting the little details looking nice. This part is really just tedious, not really that hard. You know, it's just sort of annoying, which will probably take you a while, so keep that in mind. So here I'm just sort of figuring out these little small areas. It looked a little choppy, I'll admit it, but I did my best for what I had. It's also different because I normally don't use Photoshop. This is the second time I've used Photoshop for a drawing like this, and I think it's worked out really well in the long run. I'd recommend it, and there are ways of getting it that are frowned upon. I have it actually, surprisingly enough, legit, because my mom is a teacher and she gets it for educational purposes. So I have a copy on my computer, but I would recommend it. So again, here just sort of touching things up, nothing too insane. Sort of just going over the sketch, trying to figure out how to make it look better. There were a lot of things that I messed up in the line art part of it that I ended up going back, or I noticed really during the coloring section, which kind of was weird, but I recommend you try and find all the mistakes earlier on in the drawing if you do something like this. And as you can see, I'm just sort of doing the same thing. A lot of people ask me, how do I do straight lines? And I answer, usually, again, you just do one solid stroke with the pen. Like, you don't just do like a very slow thing, you do a quick swoop. And that gives you the straightest line you can get by drawing freehand, as well as, a relatively not rough line. It makes it smoother as well as straight. Or you can always use a pen or a fill or a line or a curve tool. It gives you a pretty similar effect, but it doesn't look as hand-drawn in my opinion. I like that hand-drawn look. Here I'm starting to color. Now, the pants, and the way that I do this is you color the edges, then you select it with the magic wand, then you fill it, and then you just like fix up the little white spots. This just allows you to fill things, it saves you some time, sort of like just slightly nicer if you don't, want to make this take forever. I noticed the left leg, as you can see, looked weird, but I just didn't have time to fix it. These colors look very plain, and that's the intention. They're meant to sort of look plain because they'll get better later on. So I wanted him to be holding like a sword or something, but this just looked like he was like stabbing himself, and I was like, okay, no. So I played around with it a little bit, and I couldn't figure it out, but you'll figure out what I decided on. I think it worked out pretty well. I gave him a golden apple, which looked pretty good, and I tried to put a sword in that hand, but instead I put a pickaxe, which you will see. I think this is where I did it. Nope, I did it there. So yeah, there's the pickaxe. Took me a few tries to figure it out here. Sorry, I'm also checking my TeamSpeak as I do this. So there we go. Just sort of fixed up a few line things. Like I told you, I sort of was, it was sort of like weird how I discovered all these things as I was painting, but either way. So here I was doing the sleeves. He had a weird sleeve design. You can probably see as I pulled up the skin. And like the black, the bluish thing. I chose like a bluish, sort of like a denim feel, for the arms and the upper part. And I ended up moving that around oddly. And that like stumped me for a while because I thought I ruined the entire drawing, but I didn't. So yeah, you can just see there for a second. It sort of goes white near the bottom, which is kind of weird. But whatever. No sweat. I'm also actually going to be doing one of these because I just applied for moderator, or JMod, sorry. And I had this really good idea of drawing my skin holding up like a sign that says like Undead Guppy for JMod or something, which I know wouldn't really help my chances, but I thought it would just be really cute and kind of just silly. So I'm going to try and do that soon, as I kind of like that idea. Here I decided to fill the whole thing, and it was okay because I could just fill in the rest of the colors later. As you can see, I'm sort of just wrapping up the base coloring. I would say actually I'm like 2/3 through. I still have a little bit left, but not too much. Just gonna say I had a bike, and let's see what else is new here. So yeah, just coloring the pickaxe. I'm gonna okay. As you can see, I'm just for enter view. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just answering a TeamSpeak thing. But yeah, as you can see, I'm doing the skin, and I decided just to take it from him, so I dragged it in, just so I can like inspect that. So and here I'm just filling in the skin, and as you can see, it's sort of looking okay. It's not great, but it was okay at the time. So there we go. There's the rest of it happening. I decided to actually freehand, the skin on the head because it just like I couldn't get it to fill right. Okay. But that's okay. So here I just made my brush a little bit bigger to freehand it. You can always do it. It's not a big deal. So yeah, I also moved on to the hair. Probably, oh, I did the eyebrows, which I ended up changing the hair, which made it look a little weird, but whatever. You get the idea. Sorry, I'm talking on Bike Ski because he has an interesting story to tell me. But yeah, so you can see here I did the eyes. He has sort of green eyes in this, which I liked. I thought the eyes were cool. I did a lot of different variations of the eyes. As you can see here, I went through like a lot of different things of doing the irises. But I'm sort of known for doing that in my drawings. That's one of the things that's always in my drawings, are those little eye things. Little reflections. So here I did the hair. The hair was kind of weird, and I thought the hair looked a little disgusting. I thought the brown I've chosen was not the best, but I actually thought it matched up pretty well. So, not super disappointed. Okay, so here I just filled it up, and it was okay. Now I think I moved on to the gradients, which worked out really well in my opinion. I thought this was a great time for gradients. So here, what you're going to want to do is select both the colors. You're going to want to select that color in both of your color choices. Make one lighter, one darker. Then use the magic wand tool to select your color and then gradient, and it'll like do its thing. So that's sort of what I've been doing here, with the skin, with the pants, and with the hair. I thought the hair worked out the best. The pants worked out okay. The skin was not that easy to see, but it shouldn't be that noticeable. The golden apple also looked pretty good with the gradient, and so did the pickaxe, as you can see there. So there we go. Now I'm doing some shadowing, I believe. So I had to choose a good shadow color, and it was kind of tricky. Like, it took me a while to find one that I thought was good, and I chose one that, it worked out pretty well. I think I abused it a little too much, so it was very, very, like, yellowy and didn't make a lot of sense. So I settled on the sort of yellowy one. It looks sort of like that. It's actually more of a tan color, but here I did the shadowing, and I did it sort of like on the sleeves, which would have looked awesome if there was like a fire or something behind him, but there wasn't, so it ended up just looking kind of weird. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you learned a little bit about making avatars. So see you all later. Bye.